This is Business Talk, your business, your success. Sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given is not intended to replace that of your business advisor. Now, let's get down to talking about your business, your success. This is Business Talk.
Well, good afternoon, Peg.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here. One more Saturday.
Here in Columbus, Ohio.
Thank you for listening to us.
Yes.
We're here every Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Every Saturday.
Talking about business and strategies.
Yes.
And Pete and I are business coaches, and we get to talk to you about items that we talk to our clients every day.
Right.
Throughout the week.
All kinds of things like management and leadership.
Yes. Profitability. Marketing. It could
hiring
be
employees.
Firing employees. Firing employees. Switching your culture. Figuring out what works.
We do a lot of work on culture. A lot of it is human
interaction
focus.
Yes.
Human interactions, relationships.
Yes, it is
Very
interesting.
much so.
I had a person shadow me. My niece Emily shadowed me.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily. And it was really interesting, her perspective. She's in college and she's in business. So, of course, it'd be great to shadow a business coach. And
right.
It was interesting. She said, how much of your job is dealing with overcoming poor relationships and conflict and helping others to grow? I mean, we do talk financials. We do talk marketing,
but it's 75%
of
relationships.
Yes. And it was a real good eye opener for her.
Yeah. But I spent most of my career, a long part of my career, over 20 years in chemical plants,
right,
in manufacturing, and I realized that after a few years, most of it was working with people on how people can work better together. Mm-hmm. And do things that they need to get done.
Well,
right?
And you know what? That is a great intro to our topic today. Our topic is going to be about growth.
Yes, sir.
That's our theme.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, Pete, I know you, and I know what you've prepared. One thing that Pete and I did, I guess about a year ago, or maybe even longer, when we were on the show, we decided that if you listen to news, you hear all the negative, whether it's politics, whether it's business, people tend to want
robberies,
to talk
murders,
negatives.
all that stuff, right?
And
it sells things.
So this was a year or two ago. We started saying, okay, we're going to start our program with
good news. Oh, yeah.
So what is the good news, Pete?
So
Tell us what's out there.
The best news is, the Wall Street Journal is a national newspaper, right?
I've heard of that.
And when I was looking in there for material for the show, I saw this article. It says, "Hello, Columbus," right here.
Oh, my, it does.
And there's a recipe in here for the Johnny Marzetti casserole.
Oh, Johnny Marzetti's here in Columbus.
Man.
Yum.
Well, it is? What do you mean? It's a restaurant, right? Or something like that? But, this is a dish.
There's a Marzetti manufacturing plant in Columbus.
Oh, yes. And actually, it was started in the 20s. Most estimates a dish creation to sometime between the restaurant's opening and the early 20s.
Oh, my.
Yeah. And Teresa went on to lend her name to the Marzetti brand of salad dressings. Sold nationwide.
There we go.
But this is a recipe for the Johnny Marzetti.
And then why did they say hello, Columbus? Because
it was originated here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I always thought it was a sandwich, Johnny Marzetti, but it's a casserole.
Oh, man.
And, who wouldn't like this? Olive oil, onions, mushrooms, ground beef, lots of it.
Yum.
Tomatoes, and cheddar cheese, and pasta.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
so
yum.
Anyway, doesn't that make you
Marzetti.
hungry?
Okay, that's a good one.
So this first piece of good news here, that's good news, too, that Columbus has made the national news. And outlook is rosier for class of 17. This spring's crop of college graduates has an extra reason to celebrate. And it's got a list of the average base pay for various college grads. And it's up. It's up quite a lot. And it's about $49,785 for the average getting out of college. The top is a software developer, $65,000. Engineer, $63,000. Actuary, $59,000, and on. But anyway.
What are some of the lower ones?
Well, they only show the ones that are above average.
Oh, okay.
So I don't see that, Peggy, but it says it's gotten to the highest in at least a decade.
Well, that's good.
And
that's
they've surveyed
news.
145 venture-level positions by Hay Group, and it's up 3% from last year, which means...
Wonderful. Okay, good news. Do you have one more piece?
Well, let's see. A couple more. Yeah, quickies. Apple's building a corporate headquarters. They're just starting to move into it. 12,000 people are moving into this building in California. It's a big circle. It looks like a big donut.
It almost looks
and
like
I
the
think
original
it said $5
iPod
billion
circle.
On that building. Holy cow.
One ring to bind them all is what it says.
12,000 employees. Can you imagine?
And it looks like, honestly, like the ring on the iPod when it first came out that you could move it.
Oh, exactly.
That's what
it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
So you picture the Pentagon, but this is just a ring.
Circle.
It's
wow.
open in the middle, so there's a bit of a campus in the center.
Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, and then this other article here, because we have done a lot of work with a Boeing supplier, that budget airlines are buying planes. They're buying a lot of planes, which is good for us because we have a lot of aerospace manufacturing.
That is good. Well, that is some great news.
Yeah. And then the last one I had is just 5 secrets of steady exercise.
Okay, tell us the 5 secrets.
Do you want to know this?
I do.
Okay, so many of us, we want to get to the gym. Only 21% of U.S. adults manage to get enough exercise.
Well, what is enough exercise? Does it say?
It does not. So here's some tips, and I think we do a lot of these, Peg.
Okay.
They exercise at the same time most days.
That's what we do.
We do it at the same time.
Pete, we have a group, and we all get up in the morning at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Or actually, we get there at 5:45.
Yep.
And exercise.
So an increasing number of active people are widening their definition of exercise. So painting your house could be exercise, which it is.
I've got to tell you, I think I exercise
Remodeling
enough.
is exercise, yeah. They have a streamlined pre-exercise routine with visual cues. Now, this one, I just get up and do it. It just says that if you lay out your clothes or, if you need help getting into the habit, if you have a routine, it helps you do it.
If you have your clothes sitting right next to you, guys, I'm telling you that helps.
Okay.
Especially to get in the habit. Now, once you're in the habit, you're just going to get up.
You're done.
Yes.
They're more flexible than infrequent exercises about how long or vigorously they exercise. So give yourself a break is what this is talking about. If you get too rigid about it, you'll quit. And I've seen it.
Which we talk about that. We talk about that with our teams and say, one of the steps we say is positivity is exercise, and making it easy enough to do it is important.
Right. And if you really don't feel like exercising super hard that day, well, don't.
Just exercise.
Do what you can.
At least walk. Keep moving. Yeah. Water and moving. Right. Water and moving. I like that.
And then the last one is they're more likely to exercise for pleasure than for weight loss or other long-term health goals. So don't worry so much about the scale and worry about how it makes you feel, right?
Right.
And don't worry about the weight or other things.
It increases your energy levels. So that is good news. I like that, Pete. Very good. Okay, star on your forehead, Pete.
Yeah, so ding. We're going to talk about growth today. So Peg and I are business coaches. We work with mid-sized companies, so 220 to 200 employee firms. That's probably where 3/4 of our work is. But we also do some work with very large corporations. And Peg and I get to talk with a group coming up in a few weeks of 24 distributors across North America. And this topic, we thought, well, let's talk about it now.
Right. So what you're going to hear today is, so we go in and we work with teams. So if you have a team that you want us to work with, it could be a department within a corporation, or it could be a business, and you just want us to come in for half a day or a day, we can do that. You want to give us a call and we can schedule a time to talk to you about that. If you haven't done something with your team in a while,
in years,
and we run into that a lot, then do it. You've got to do this. We do it once. We recommend at least once a year that we talk to the team. Right. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing team events, but once a year with our clients, we get the team together. And so give Pete a call at
614-306-7922.
306-7922.
That's it.
But so anyway, we're going to go through a team. We're going to get together with the team. We're going to go through some of the materials that we're going to talk about with that team. And now it's an hour and a half. What we're going to go through. It's not on the radio, but in person, it's about an hour and a half. So we're going to try and get through it within this show.
Right, we will.
And it's about growth.
Yeah, and one of the things we're going to start with is that sometimes when you talk to folks about growing their business, they think tactically, I need to go talk to more people. Well, we want to start with mindset. And Peg and I like to distinguish between mindset and skill set.
And so here's an exercise for you. Think about your business. Think about yourself. Think of your department. And think to yourself, are the issues that I'm having within my department a skill set or a mindset issue?
Yeah.
And 80% of the time we do this, it's going to be mindset versus skill set.
And that's why we're going to talk about mindset first.
Okay.
Because that can be at the basis of everything. And we've read somewhere that 75 or 80% of your actions during the day are automatic.
So there's habits.
You respond by habit.
They're habits.
Routine.
So we need to help you coaching is all about education and figuring out how that applies to you. So we're going to dive into what is the mindset and what is it that you can do to help that part, since that's most of the time of what's getting in our way.
Right. And you as a leader of the organization, if the company is going to grow, it's going to depend on you to grow yourself. So we're going to start with you.
Well, what we want you to do is think of it as a reflection. So whatever your team is doing, they're responding to you. So if you're stressed, pressured, anxious, over-managing, then guess what? You're having a team that's sort of probably breaking down. I can tell you what's happening.
And if you're positive and happy and optimistic and confident, that will be reflected as well.
Absolutely. It is with certainty. We want you to be certain. So when we return after the break, we're going to go through some of the tools and strategies that we're going to teach you in order to put this into your business.
Awesome.
Could your business use some help? Call 614-306-7922 to schedule your coaching session. 614-306-7922. Now, here's more business talk.
So we're talking about growth today and about your business. One thing we want to mention is we do have a 90-day planning session coming up on June 16th.
It's June 16th. So, and that's right around the corner here.
It is.
It's a Friday. It's coming up. And we will, if you are one of the first callers to call Pete, you can come to that complimentary of us. Now, the ticket is $500. This will be complimentary for you and a guest.
Right.
Call 614-306-7922. And it's what we want is you to walk away with a plan, and it's going to be from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Right.
So
in Grandview.
In Grandview, right in Grandview. And we have people coming from everywhere.
Right. We'll probably have 45, 50 people.
Yes, they come from everywhere. So.
Yeah. And oddly enough, we do it every 3 months.
We do it. It's called a 90-day plan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so right before the break, we were talking a little bit about skill set versus mindset.
Yeah.
And which one is usually getting in our way, Pete?
And as managers and leaders, we'd ask you to think about when you have a challenge in your business, and our topic today was growth. So if I'm not growing as fast as I really would like, we want you to think about, is it a mindset issue or is it a skill set issue? What am I giving off to my team and even to myself on a daily basis that is leading me in a certain direction? So if I've grown, let's say 5% the last 3 years, it's good. It's better than the rate of inflation. However, a lot of the businesses we're working with are growing double digits.
At least double digits.
Yeah.
And sometimes
some of them over 20.
Yes, I was going to say
which creates its own challenges, right?
Right.
Finding good people and et cetera and facilities, and there are all kinds of stresses that go with that. But It's a good thing, generally.
So one thing we're going to go through is the mindset. So, Pete, what would be the first thing?
So the very first concept, and we've talked about this concept a lot, but this is particularly applied to growing your business rapidly, is taking ownership for where you are now. In other words, the last 12 months and maybe the last 24 months, how fast has my business grown?
Got it. Step up is what we're saying.
Yeah. Take ownership for it. It's yours. Your result. You and your team have created whatever these results are.
And when we talk to teams and you bring us into your organization, what's great about it is we're not just talking to the managers, but we talk to the employees.
Right.
And it's an outside person telling them probably what you've told them all along.
Yeah,
and they start listening.
Yeah, sometimes
they're
they
like,
actually,
I've never heard that before.
They actually listen,
yes,
right? Like you've run into that with kids in coaching.
Oh,
right?
yes. What you can tell a kid, what a parent tells a kid versus a coach,
right.
You can say the same thing. It's same in business. Sometimes when a coach comes in and says it, they listen.
So the first thing, and these are the positive things, is taking ownership for it. The next thing would be being accountable for your results. The results that I've gotten in the last 5 years are mine, or ours, because Peg and I are business partners. So there are results. We own them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And the next thing would be being responsible to take action if I need to take action to get different results. If I've got to do something different, it's up to me.
And really, that permeates. When that permeates your culture, that type of attitude, you're going to see great results, and you're going to have a happier team.
Mm-hmm.
And happiness results into production
and
retention.
And a more purposeful team. So I'll give you some examples of things that would not be contributing to this mindset. Is if you blame your competitors, or maybe even we have clients sometimes that blame their customers.
Yes, we get that a lot.
Well, we have a great product here, and they just won't buy it. Or my competitor is doing this or that. Or the economy stinks.
Right. Or blaming each other. Blaming each other on the team. You know, I would do better if this department was doing something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or giving excuses for why things didn't happen. Well, sales only grew by that because we had an election.
Right. Or complaining. So they're complaining, saying, you know what? We're blaming, complaining, defending ourselves. Well, it wasn't my fault. And so these are all what we call reasons.
Yeah. So one part of your mindset is we want you to think about, how can I take ownership for the situation? How can I make sure I'm always accountable for what happens? And how can I make sure I clarify what I should do?
Right.
What am I responsible to go do?
Exactly.
Action.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so that's one concept we want you to embrace.
Mm-hmm. That's one tool.
And that we're going to be talking to this team coming up. So this will be good.
Yep.
Okay, so what would be the next one, Pete?
Tool number 2 would be, and we've again talked about this before, but not necessarily in the context of focusing on growth in your business, is what we call the formula for change.
Oh, this is a really good management tool, Pete. If you're managing people right now, well, heck, use it on yourself.
Self-management too, right?
Self-management. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted a change in your life? Have you ever wanted somebody else to change? Now, I don't mean we want to change people the way we want. I meant the behavior.
Manipulative.
No.
Okay.
I mean it in you have an employee that you want to make sure comes in on time and doesn't disrupt.
And this is a good employee in 85-90% of what they do is great. And we want to add a little something here, like show up on time.
Show up on time. So we have this formula for change. Now, if you're driving, which most of you probably are, unless you're listening to this on our website, because all of our archived shows will be downloaded on our website.
If you are, you're brilliant.
Yes, it's our website for all of our past shows is takeactionbusinesscoaching.com. So takeactionbusinesscoaching.com. You can go to that website. So, Pete, go ahead and let's talk about, okay, so there's 4 elements to this formula for change.
If you're home, you can write this on a piece of paper. And if not, if you're driving, go to the website after you get home and download it and write it down. So It's a formula. So there's a little math here. The result is, let's start with the beginning.
Okay.
It's D, the letter D, capital letter D.
D.
Which stands for dissatisfaction. And if you're not in any way dissatisfied with your situation, you're not going to change anything.
No.
Or if you have a salesperson who is comfortable and earning more than enough to take care of their needs and their spouse's needs and their children, they may not make any progress.
It's the reason a lot of people stay where they are.
They plateau.
They're not dissatisfied enough. It deals with your weight. It deals with your friends. It deals with your relationships. It deals with your habits. So if you have zero dissatisfaction, you will not change.
So if we did ask you a few minutes ago to think backwards about the last 2, maybe 5 years in your business, whatever your growth rate was for the last 2 to 5 years, are you satisfied with it? Is it acceptable? And if you're not dissatisfied in any way, this is not for you. If you are dissatisfied,
then keep listening.
Keep listening. Right. So the next thing is let's multiply the D times a V. So a capital V, and stands for vision. So we want you to get clarity on what you want to do with a growth rate. How fast do I want to grow? 10%, 12%, 15%, 20%. What is it?
Well, and what we like to do is say sometimes your vision can increase your dissatisfaction. So if you've ever gone over to tour a house.
Home show.
A home show. That's great.
Look out, man.
Some of those like Cleary Remodeling.
Or a boat show.
Okay, or a boat show. So.
Yeah. So what happens when you go to this home show, Peg? This has happened to you.
Yes.
You look at this beautiful home and you go, wow.
Exactly. And so what you do is you realize, I didn't like the kitchen I always had.
Honey, I don't like our kitchen anymore.
It's why when you go to a car dealer, you want to drive the car because then you realize, oh, this drives smooth. This is nice. Right. It creates a level of dissatisfaction because you have a vision of something better. So when we bring you to the 90-day plan, you may create a dissatisfaction within yourself because you're seeing some businesses do really well. And look at their teams doing well.
And also you could go, I could do that.
Right.
And that can help you clarify your vision. Well, you know what? I could have a great team that is growing at 15% a year. Why not?
Because we want you to hang around
Ralphie
people.
over here is doing it.
Yeah.
Or Jeremy. Was it Jeremy a couple weeks ago?
So hanging around people that are going to challenge you and increase your vision are great.
Right.
So I always liked what you said, Pete. The D times V is the why.
Yes.
You change.
And if you don't have a big why, you're not going to do it. Right? If you're generally satisfied, in other words, not dissatisfied, and you have no clear vision of how you want it to be different, it won't happen. So the opposite is true.
And here's excuses we don't like to hear. I'm too old. We don't get that very often. But...
Unacceptable. Yep. Now, my daughter, Emily, God bless you, Emily, you're out on the Appalachian Trail hiking still.
Yes.
She's passed 750 miles. A couple weeks ago, she texted me a picture of she and a guy that she met on the trail. He's 82. 82 years old, and he's hiking the trail by himself. 2,190 miles alone.
So you're not allowed to say I'm too old.
You can't say that.
You're not allowed to. That's a mindset issue.
Yeah, that's mindset.
So Pete, we've got the why. So
yes.
How do we get to the how?
D times V. The next step in this formula is plus F. So the letter F, and this stands for first steps.
Okay.
And that's the what. In a lot of cases, when we're coaching people, whether it's business owners or managers or salespeople, they go right to, well, I just need to go call some more people. But if we don't have the driver, the why, those things fizzle out and you don't keep going.
Right.
It's like we mentioned at the beginning of the show about exercise. If you have a big reason why, you're going to keep doing it. And once it becomes a habit, you've got it.
Right. And that all has to be greater than on the other side it's got to be greater than the resistance to change.
Yeah, so if you're writing this, it's D times V plus F greater than R.
So that's how you get people to change. That's how you get yourself to change. So it's a management tool. So you have to sit down and figure out each element in order to get a better result from.
And if you're the leader of the business, we'd ask you to examine this with yourself, or maybe you have a business partner. This is a great thing for the two of you, or maybe there's three of you, to go off and work on this formula alone for each of you. Write down, what's my vision for this business in the future? How dissatisfied am I with the last 5 years' results?
And how do I get more dissatisfied? Because if I plateau, or if I'm happy where I am, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it means you're in trouble. Because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Well, you mentioned something about the people you're around. Are there people that you should be meeting or associating with that are growing at much higher rates than you?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, who are they? You might have a couple in your circle of friends, but you don't spend maybe enough time with them to get dissatisfied.
Right.
So expose yourself to that a little bit.
Right? Exactly. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. So we have the formula for change. Now, what's our next one, Pete?
Our next step, we're going to talk about beliefs.
Okay. So we're going to talk about how beliefs help us or
they either help
hurt
you
us
or slow you down, right?
Okay, so we probably will have an exercise for you. I know.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have
So
one.
when we return, we're going to dive into beliefs, to your point, and say, okay, here's an exercise on how you can either A, change your beliefs, right, your belief system.
Right, and how you can get them to actually help you and to move you forward faster.
So we'll keep talking about mindset. Now, this is mindset versus skill set, and we're teaching you strategies for the mindset right now for
we
this,
have lots
for this
of
hour.
skill set strategies as well, but this is what we're focused on.
Okay.
Because it starts here.
To learn more about today's topic, call 614-306-7922. Now, back to more business talk.
Oh, we're having fun with this. We're having fun with this. We're talking about the formula for change, and we're talking to a distributor group coming up in about a week. And we were just saying, with the formula for change that we talked about right before the break, Pete and I, as business coaches, we talked to a lot of clients, and I said, I didn't want to freak out anybody and not say be happy, but when you're really satisfied with where you are, it's a really scary spot because you're vulnerable, because you're not growing. And if you're not growing and working on things, if you're just going to sit in a comfort zone, eventually that will go away.
So pride goeth before the fall, huh?
There you have it.
Oh.
Ooh, there we go.
So, and this group, 24, 25 folks, we've got some that are not wildly, but very successful.
I would say wildly. I don't think you're going over that. I don't think you're going over that.
But multiple digit growth for several years in a row and doing really well.
Making a lot of money.
Right.
And then we have some people who aren't.
Right.
And isn't that interesting? They're all selling the same product.
Uh-huh. Right. And there are some differences in mindset amongst this group.
And there's, yes, and obviously
Big
some
difference.
of it is skill set because we have to set up their systems better. But for now, if you just joined us, we're talking a little bit about mindset versus skill set, and we're diving into the mindset. Now, right before the break, we promised this beliefs. Now, let's talk about this belief system.
So what is a belief, Peg?
It's something you hold to be true.
So you mean it's not something that is an absolute, like gravity?
No, it is not an absolute. It's something that in your mind is a belief.
So these things may or may not be true.
And a lot of times, our beliefs could get in our way.
Yeah. So one of the things we've done with groups in the past is if it's a group of salespeople, for example, is we have them write down what are beliefs you have about salespeople. Write them all down. And then rattle those off. And let's pick through and find out, well, how many of those are positive beliefs and how many are negative beliefs?
Right. Because you know what? The what's in your head is what's coming out.
Right.
So if it's negative, I'm sure you have a negative, it was funny. I was with an engineer the other day and they were talking about salespeople. Now they're not a sales.
You heart engineers, right?
I do heart engineers. I think they're wonderful. I love working with engineer groups and doctors because they get stuff done and they like systematic ways, which is always helpful. But he was talking so badly about salespeople, and I thought, oh, your belief is really poor about like they were slimy, and I was like, that's
like
interesting.
Money grabbing,
money grabbing out for themselves. And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? Yeah. So the belief system. And so tell me how this gets in your way, Pete.
Well, one of the things, and you've probably heard this term before, limiting belief. So one of the things we like to start with is let's examine your beliefs. If you're the business owner, let's say, or even if you're in charge of a sales organization or in sales yourself, what are some of the beliefs you have about your current business? And to go back to where we started in the first session is what are some beliefs that you have about your growth rate in the last 2 or 3 years? It's been impeded by the economy. It's been great because of this, that, and the other. What are some of those beliefs? And document them. Write them down.
Right. And another belief could be I'm working hard enough, or I work too much, or
I already work too hard.
Yeah. We had one person that said, Peg, when we went in, I said, well, why aren't we bigger? Why aren't we bigger as a company? And they go, because I'm going to have to work harder, and I'm already working hard enough. And I said, well,
because that's the only way.
Yes. And I said, what if I were to tell you that actually the bigger you grow, you're not going to work as hard? What if I were to tell you that? Would you believe me? They're like, I don't know. So we had to go and get some proof. And we have doubled.
I know this company.
You know that company.
Yes.
We have doubled their business.
And they're not working more.
No, they're not working more. They're working less and loving life.
Right.
And now, and believe it or not, we're going to grow again because it's been fun.
But it's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, it's just a belief that's in your way. So we got to challenge.
So in other words, if I got a $10 million business and you're telling me I can get to $20 million in sales and I don't have to work more hours,
right?
And maybe even could work less hours. That's what you're telling me.
And have more fun.
Yeah. And
enjoy yourself more and make more money.
Great.
And that would be a limiting belief. So if you're sitting there going, "Oh no, I have to work more hours," then get out of your way. You're in your way.
Well, working more hours is one way to make it bigger.
Absolutely.
It's not the only way.
And we still want you to work some hours to make it bigger. Don't get me wrong. And we're not saying to slack off, but we're saying if you want to slack off, maybe there's a way to do it.
Right.
So, yes.
You may need a person that is not currently in your business to help you.
And you would have to let go and train and delegate.
Right.
Okay, so beliefs is one. Okay, so
beliefs is one, and trying to and this would be an exercise is to stop for a moment, and hopefully maybe it's on a weekend or early Saturday morning, sit down with a blank piece of paper and just write down all your thoughts about what you believe about your own business and its growth rate and its success. What are all those things? And then let's examine those and figure out, are there any of those that are slowing me down?
I like that.
So one way to visualize this is, draw a little ship on your paper. And you've got things that, and a sailing ship, let's say, and we've got things that put wind in our sails, right?
Right.
Positive people that encourage you.
Right.
Maybe habits that you have that are anchors.
Oh.
Or maybe people that are anchors that are slowing you down. You could never grow. You could never double in size. You might hear that once in a while from someone.
Or you could say, it's that circle around you that you have to watch out for.
What's putting wind in your sails and what's slowing you down?
And get it. And you know what? If it's an anchor, then either chop it off or bring it up, but don't let it stay there.
Yeah.
You have the power to change
Pull
that.
it off or up or cut the rope.
Right? Acting with certainty is so important because when you know what you know, you should act upon it.
Right.
Because it's probably stopping you, the non-action. That is leadership.
Okay.
So this is Peg and Pete with Business Talk, and we're talking today about mindset versus skill set. And we're talking about in business, you have both. But if we look at what gets in the way of people, the majority of the time it's mindset versus skill set.
Correct.
So we're talking about some of the mindset changes that you have to make in order to achieve. So we just got done with beliefs. What would be the next one, Pete?
Yeah, so the next one,
ready to move on?
And it's related to beliefs, is that we want you to upgrade your beliefs to match your vision.
Okay, so tell me about that. Upgrading my beliefs to match my vision.
A segment or so ago, we talked about the change formula, the D times V plus F.
Oh, before the break.
Before the break.
Or maybe, yes,
Previous segment. Talked about this formula. Well, one of those terms was the vision.
Okay, gotcha.
We want you to have a big vision, not a little vision.
Why do we want a big vision? Why?
Well, a big vision can be inspiring.
Okay.
It can inspire you to get up and go at it in the morning. And your high performers on your team, it's contagious. If you're excited about the big vision, your high performers are going to latch onto that and go with you and help you get it.
It's interesting you said that, Pete, because we were talking about a business that was fairly, small, and it was about a $1 million business. And I don't mean that to be small as in it's a small business. It was small for this gentleman. He wanted to make it bigger, according to his goal, but he was scared. And he's like, well, I'm sort of comfortable. Everything's going well. And one of the conversations we had is I said, it's good and well for you, but to your point, what about your team?
Right.
Are you inspiring them? If you're not, you've got some young people here that want to have new opportunities. And are you going to give that to them with this small vision?
Well, and from a succession standpoint, you can create opportunities for others that they can carry it on when you decide to move to Florida.
Absolutely. And, Pete and I, we have a firm here in Columbus with Michelle and Angie, who have also on the show. And that's why, our vision is very large. We're going to have 9 coaches. And in fact, we're looking for coaches right now if you're interested in being one of our coaches.
614-306-7922.
Because we have a firm that's growing and a vision that's exciting. And there's people out there we're helping every day.
Right.
It's quite inspiring. And we want you to be that inspired and excited.
Yeah, so the idea with this upgrading your beliefs is we want you to upgrade your beliefs to match your big vision rather than downgrading your beliefs to match your current reality.
Got it.
Or going backwards if you think, boy, I've only grown at 1% the last 5 years.
That's all I'm going to grow.
That's how it's going to be the next 5 years. That's what I did. Well, no, we want you to think the other way and have a great big vision. And, if you get 80% of a great vision, you're still going to grow greatly.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I like that, Pete. Okay. So what's the next one?
So what you may have to do is to look at some of the things that you have to push aside. Rules, meaning things like rules or reasons, and reasons could be excuses, could be like excuses.
Right.
You may have to push aside, this is how other people I know did it. Well, we may have to help you expand your circle a bit and learn something from somebody who's not in Columbus or somebody who's not in the U.S. even.
And that's
how did somebody else do it?
And I think that's why having a coach is really important because, when Pete and I are talking to somebody, we have so many case studies of, okay, we're working with a gentleman in Michigan who's doing this.
Right.
We're working with somebody in New Zealand. Pete's working with somebody in New Zealand who's doing that. Yes, you do well with them. So it's I like that, opening up your circle of knowledge.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go and meet Richard Branson, but you may need to read a chapter of a book that somebody like that wrote, where you go, holy cow, that worked for him or her. Why wouldn't it work for me? Well, of course it would.
Right.
You just have to apply.
Got it.
Right? And your circumstances may be different.
Good. Okay, so looking at that, would you call it a circle of things?
Well, figuring out some things that you need to let go of. So the common rules, the fixed mindset, your limiting beliefs, you got to jettison some things, let some things go.
I like
and reasons.
That. I like that. So when we return, Pete, we're going to go back into mindset and finish up here with some other really great tools that you can walk away with and apply actually right now.
Could your business use some help? Call 614-306-7922 to schedule your coaching session. 614-306-7922. Now, here's more business talk.
We're talking about growth today, and we have a lot of material. And as Peg said right before the break, we are going to focus on, we're currently focusing on mindset versus skill set. Not tactical things, but how your mindset affects the growth of your business.
And as business coaches for the last 12 years, Pete and I really know what gets in the people's way, and we know what helps them grow. And so we're giving you some strategies. Our goal is to give back. Our goal is to make it work. And so all you have to do is actually listen and apply. Now, we would love to meet with you as well. If you have a business or you're a manager in a company and would like to meet to figure out how we can help you best, just give us a call and set up. We'll initially talk on the phone, and if it makes sense, we'll talk to you a little bit. Just give Pete a call at 614-306-7922. And the first step really is just a conversation over the phone. 15, 20 minutes, get to know each other a little bit, and we'll talk about where the opportunities for improvement are. Right. 306-7922.
That is it.
So let's get back at it, Pete. Now, when we were talking about getting rid of some of the things in your life to help you grow that were anchors, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the next step would be, and this is a good exercise too, and again, if you're driving, don't do this, but go back and listen to the show on the website. And the website again is? TakeActionBusinessCoaching.com. There you go.
Because we'll archive all of our shows there. So,
right. And when you get there and listen to this, we want you to take a blank piece of paper and think about all the very, very successful people you know. And it could be people you know personally, or it could be people you know through the news and you know, the entire world, really.
Got it.
All these very successful people, and we want you to write down all the attributes that those people have.
Characteristics, kind of what they, okay, got it.
Yeah, what are things that they exhibit? Is it courage? Is it the ability to speak? Is it the ability to get things done? Whatever they happen to be. So write all those things down. It could even
be a coach that you've had in the past, like a sports coach or even a boss. What makes them really great?
A mentor, someone who helped you in your career, which we've all got them, right?
It could be somebody who makes it fun. It could be somebody who
could be one of your parents.
Inspires, yes. It could be somebody who teaches you.
Yeah, so you make this list of attributes, right? You don't have to put the person's name down, but write down all these qualities. And then what we want you to do now is, you've got that list, is to put an S, a K, or an A next to each one of those qualities.
And so what does the S, the K, and the A stand for?
So the S stands for skill. Now, is that attribute a skill? So public speaking could be a skill. Right.
Or a
knowledge.
They know how. Right. Okay. Then the K is for knowledge.
Right.
Okay.
So the next one could be knowledge.
Okay.
So this person knows a lot about this subject or that subject.
Okay. Got it.
And the last one is
attitude. So A would be for attitude.
Right.
Okay.
So the surprising thing about this, and Peg and I have done this with hundreds of people in a lot of different places, different types of groups, different companies. Mixed groups of people from a lot of different companies. And the answer is almost always the same. What happens? What rises to the top?
So what we're saying is let's say you have 20 attributes and you have an S. And here's one thing that we do say is sometimes you can have a couple. Well, that's an attitude and knowledge.
Skill,
or it could be skill and knowledge. So what we do is we say out of those 20, count how many S's there are, how many K's there are, which is the knowledge, and how many A's there are.
Right.
And overwhelmingly, what percentage do you think are A's? Attitude.
Oh, it's 75%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Generally, when you're looking at your list, it's going to be attitude, but it's a really good leadership exercise to do in order to show you how important each one is, because we do need skills in our ability to get the job done. We're not undermining that. Right. We're just saying almost everybody generally has the skills at some level. What sets us apart is the attitude part.
Right. And it's a reminder for you business owners and managers and leaders out there that you're having a new CRM may help you. However, making sure your attitude is right will help you a lot more.
Exactly. Agreed. Okay, I like that exercise, Pete. Good. That's called the SKA exercise on leadership development. The triangle and purpose to see what it is. All right, so looking at mindset versus skill set, and we're going into some mindset strategies and tools.
Right.
Do you have another tool for our mindset?
Well, I think the next thing would be thinking about, now that we've got some clarity on habits we need to drop. The other thing I didn't mention is that we should be thinking about, well, who do I need to meet in order to match this bigger vision? Should I be networking with some different people? What authors should I be reading? What books should I be reading from?
So as
those kind of things.
I'm hearing you say, as your vision increases, ask this question. Okay.
Right. And as even you wanting to increase your vision, what could I do to increase my vision, and who could I expose myself to help me do that?
I like that. So going back to the vision and how to increase your vision of what, because guess what? Whatever your vision is where everybody's going. So you've got all this team, where whoever you are, whether it's a manager or an owner,
they're going with you.
What is your vision? Yes, they're going with you. And where are you taking them? And have you communicated it too? So you're saying, as you increase your vision, Pete, go and start reading and hanging around people with the same type of vision.
Right.
I like that. That's
so. Then
excellent.
the next part of the process would be, okay, we've got this grand vision. Great. Now, what are our goals? What are the milestones we're going to see on the way? So we need to get some clarity on those. And it could be you and your senior leadership team, or maybe it's you and your business partner getting out of the business for a couple hours, or maybe half a day, and going somewhere and talking through, well, now we have this great vision. This is what we want. How are we going to get there?
Okay, I like that. So what do you recommend as far as goals, Pete? We get this a lot. 5-year, 4-year, 3, 2, 1. What would you think?
Some of that depends on the size of the business, but I think 3 years is probably a good general guideline. Mm-hmm. In a lot of industries, in 5 to 8 years, things change a lot.
We've been hearing that a lot, that the 5 year is pretty challenging, only because of what you just said. The industry's changing a lot of unpredictable
technology
indicators. And it doesn't mean that our vision won't serve over those years, but creating the goals might be well served for you 1 year. Some people say, just let me do a year,
right?
Which is okay. I mean, we're here to look at the big picture too.
And even if we do 3 years, we want to come back to a year. So do 3 years first. And because it's 3 years away, there's going to be less clarity on that than 12 months from now.
Got it.
12 months happens like that,
right?
With a business, right?
So you're saying create this vision, right?
Right.
Then create these goals.
Yep.
And then what do you do after that?
Get some clarity on those goals. And let's talk about goal setting just for a moment, is that we want goals that are specific and measurable. And if you have a leadership team, we want them to be helping you to create those things, not just hand them to you.
I'm glad you said that. So if you are in charge of a team and you have managers, do each one of them have 90-day plans? Do each one of them have specific, I'm sure that, I shouldn't say I'm sure, some do and some don't, but
yes.
Have annual goals. A lot of times it's easy to say, okay, here's your annual goal.
Right.
But are you taking the time to break those down and help coach them to achieving them on a quarterly basis?
Right. And from a tactical standpoint, if you can break things into a quarter, it's easier for the team to manage to 90 days versus 12 months. Because you can look at it and say, you know what, this one, in order to get this done in 12 months, I've got to do X in the next couple months, or we'll never hit the 12-month deadline.
It's exciting doing that.
It helps you to break it down.
Okay, so this is Peg and Pete with Business Talk. If you are interested in this show or any of our other shows, they are archived on takeactionbusinesscoaching.com.
Right.
Because you'll hear this. If you just tuned in and said, this is so great, I want to hear it in its entirety, you can find it on that website. And it'll be under Grow as a topic.
Or if you just like listening to us talk, that's fine too.
You've got that too. We have plenty of wonderful shows that give you strategies and ideas on how to improve yourself personally and professionally. So whether it's your team or your employees or you or your family, it's all good.
So the process, once we get this vision clear, is vision, clear goals, creating a plan for executing those goals, and then getting into action. So that's the hierarchy. That's how it goes.
That's how we say, in order to get results, you need to have that happen.
Right. Those 4 things in a row.
I got it.
And if you are listening, we do have a 90-day planning session. We want to mention that to you about on June 16th.
June 16th, and you are welcome to call Pete. It's $500 a person, but as a listener, we have our listener, the first 2 people to call can bring, whether you're a manager or a business owner, bring 1 or 2 people and call him at 614-306-7922. And so, Pete, as we're looking at this attitude, and do we have one more concept that we can go through that we have time for?
Well, yes. I think the next thing would be to talk about the be times do equals have.
Okay, so...
so this is a formula.
It's a formula again. Now, B
here.
is in B-E, spelled out, not in the letter B.
B-E, yes. B-E.
B times 2. And B stands for your thoughts, right?
It's you. It's really your thoughts. It starts with your thoughts.
And then do is your...
actions.
And then the have equals?
The result.
Okay, so it's a formula on how to get better results.
So we want to have different results, and this could apply to what we talked about at the beginning of the show, is that if you want to have different results, you could, if I want to double my business, I could work twice as hard.
Okay, so I'd do more. So my formula would be really, I would go, okay, I'm going to put all my eggs and just start working, which is really what a lot of people do. It's why when we ask people to grow, they immediately think I have to do more.
Oh yeah, they get worried.
Oh, I have to do more.
And sometimes this happens to us over a period of years. We realize that, holy cow, I've been working 60 hours a week the last couple of months, and it kind of snuck up on me. I didn't mean to. But it happened to me. Mm-hmm. And boy, I've been doing it for 3 months and I'm tired.
And it's really interesting because the B part you can concentrate on that. So some of the strategies, so do would be doing more actions, correct?
Yes, right.
So some strategies to increase your B. In other words, to get better results, you can actually concentrate on the BE, your thoughts. So what would be some of the strategies?
So some of these thoughts could be, how do I become more positive about my opportunities or about my employees or about my suppliers or about everything? Could be
my
that.
Approach. In other words, your approach could be one. It could be what you read and learn.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It'd be good growing your thoughts and your belief system.
And think about it this way, too. If I'm the owner of a $5 million in sales business and I want it to be 10, what do I need to become? Who do I need to become in order to grow and to manage a company of that size?
And if you work on both the be and the do in this equation, you're going to have more.
Right.
Which is what you want, whatever that more is to you.
And you may end up doing different things. As you become somebody else, you end up doing things differently than you did before.
That does make sense. Well, we've had a great show today, Pete, on mindset versus skill set. And thank you to our listeners for listening today, and hope to see you at our 90-day plan.
This has been Business Talk, your business, your success, sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed were those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given was not intended to replace that of your business advisor. For more information about the topics discussed today, call 614-306-7922. 614-306-7922. Tune in next week at this time for more Business Talk, your business, your success.